Hello everyone, it's me, Atari HMV. How's everyone been today? What is going on, folks? Hope everyone's doing great. Welcome to the stream. I am glad to see everyone is in here today. Let's go ahead and get our introduction. Let's see who made it today. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go over the brief introductions. SR Nova, welcome to the stream. Vegeta Scales. Hey, what's going on, man? The Dark Knight, King Zondo. The welcome. Random Citizen. Hey, I'm glad you're happy to see that there's a new stream. Roz, what is going on? Akeem Rees, was good. Welcome back. And so it begins. Yes, that's right, Andre. Yep, indeed, Roz. Yep, we had some things to be done, you know. All right, so now that everyone is here today, no, I'll just play. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have a lot of things pulled up here on this stream today. We are going to be looking at a couple of things to Imgar. And Imgar is basically going to be our main source of finding out information, moving forward, etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead. So today's stream is just a general stream, asking questions, clarifying anything that had to do with the recent shorts. You know, I want to know how you guys feel about the shorts. Let's start with that. How does everyone feel about the shorts that have been pumping and jumping recently? All right. Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm glad that we're having a stream today because we get to address certain things today. We're going to go ahead and address certain claims. Let's see here. Brendan Jackson. Okay, first let's read here. Vegeta Scales. All right, so that's to Vegeta Scales. All right, Frieza. Brendan Jackson says Frieza didn't destroy an entire galaxy. That is actually a good thing you brought up today. And I would love to definitely address that. So the question now comes down to, did Frieza actually destroy a galaxy? And that's actually something I want to look deep into with you guys on the stream live today. So we're going to be answering just general questions. As long as you guys have our source reference, we can go ahead and dive deep into it. Atari, so let me go ahead and write some of these questions down. Some of these questions I gotta. So let's talk about question number one. Frieza didn't destroy a galaxy. I'm gonna list them up in the. I'm gonna list them up. But what we're gonna do is, here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna have them all lined up here. All right. So question number one. Frieza did not destroy a galaxy. All right. All right, that much is made clear, okay? Like, it is not accepted now. I completely understand. Frieza did not destroy a galaxy. Next up, Atari, what do you think about Seth's debunk for fifth dimensional otherworld? He said, just because it is stated to be a higher dimension doesn't mean it's higher mathematically. All right, that's a good question. So we're going to go to number two. So question number two. So let's go ahead and line that up along the sides. Question number two, Seth's higher dimension rebuttal. That's a good question. Let's go ahead and address that. Next up, let's see, who else we got? I do like your shorts. They seem great for airtime. Gives me that Air Jordan feel. Thank you, Roz. I appreciate it greatly. As you guys know, right now I'm currently in my room. Let me just turn the heater on because I think it's a little cold. God dang it. Come on, god dang it. Turn on. Yeah. Alright, guys, so the heater's on. Instead of being in here at 40 degrees, I'm not Esdef, I'm not Toya, I'm not Whitey Bay. So we're not going to deal with that. I'm interested in your frame-by-frame breakdown. Certainly, Brendan Jackson, we'll go over it. Will you do manga Goku scale, like manga exclusive things that are canon to the manga? Absolutely, The Dark Knight. That's a good question. Namek's explosion did, however, cover a small portion of the galaxy, so solar plus to multi-solar. All right, we can address that, Brendan. How strong is Master Ultra Instinct Goku's finger, just for the lulz? We can actually do that in a YouTube short. All right. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about... So we only got 2 questions right now. Later questions will be issued at a time. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and type it in. Goku explains how he escaped Namek. Alright, let's Goku explains how he escaped Namek. So if you type in Goku explains how he escaped Namek, and just as a disclaimer for YouTube, since this is YouTube-based content, let me go ahead and put this right along the lines here. Yep. Yep, so let's type that. So this is just to kind of act as a disclaimer for fair use. We just don't want to have any issue. Fair use. So this is just going to be under the fair use guidelines. Because I don't want to have this video demonetized when I know that I'm doing it for a decent purpose. Okay, I do not want you to start singing, my brother, and then getting me in trouble. I knew you're singing Happy Together. Okay, no, we do not need that. So let's go ahead and pop this video right on over. So let's go ahead and begin our first question. This is going to be really good. So reviewing our first question, it's Goku explains how he escapes the Namek. So during this, there are key components we need to look at when we're examining this, okay? So those key components are going to be, okay, no, my computer being a little goofy. Bear with me, just, how's the connection, everyone? All right, good. So we're gonna go over it frame by frame to kind of answer the question, because Brendan Jackson wanted us to clarify exactly, because Brendan Jackson's under the impression that only a small portion of the galaxy was destroyed. And I know what he's talking about. I've had this conversation with people on Google+, so let's dive right in. Actually, what I'm going to do is... So let's see, we're at the 11-minute mark. Frieza Galaxy explanation. So we'll go ahead and timestamp this just in case, so for later use. I don't have any group of people who is willing to help me timestamp some of these things. But let's go ahead and begin. So first things first, we're going to keep it muted. We're going to try to go frame by frame. So when Goku was escaping from Namek, the key thing to factor in from this entire clip is that before he found the ship, Goku's talking a little bit more about his frustration. He was able to leave. So this is the key scene we got to look at. So I'm allowed a volume, but like I said, YouTube, if I need to strike a claim if I need to anti-claim against it, I'm going to do that because this is done for fair use. It's commentary purposes, and we're just reviewing a feat as power scalers. So
I made it off of Namek with just a couple of seconds to spare.
So a couple seconds to spare. All right, so that's Namek exploding. That's the first explosion. So now this is the overview, and this is exactly what Brendan Jackson was talking about. So let me move the fair use a little bit down more so that everyone else can kind of see it. Yep. So you see that right there? That is this little light, and I'm putting my cursor right there. Everyone should be able to see it. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but even if you can't see my cursor, I'm gonna try to highlight it. Follow the what's a good idea? Let me go ahead and show you example. Let's say, all right, yeah, right about here. Yeah, right there. That's where the dot is. And as oh, sorry, I'm actually a little off the mark. So right here is what Brendan Jackson was talking about. Brendan Jackson is referring to this, and I do not blame him. This has been talked about before. So this is clearly a multi-solar system level feat if we were to stop there. However, So I'm gonna let the full scene play out, and then I'm gonna go back step by step.
The only problem was I had no idea where I was going.
All right, so let's first stop and go back for a moment. Let's look at it frame by frame. And you're going to hear me click frame by frame. So, all right, so frame by frame, here we're going to go. So, Jesus, that scared me. Wow. Thank you so much, J Rex, for becoming a member to the channel. We greatly appreciate you. Welcome to the family, my friend. And also, thank you for being a King Suited member. That is fantastic. Greatly appreciate it, man. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's get some fires in the chat for J Rex. Awesome. Ugh. Whew. All right. Man, that's epic. Keem Ree's asking an important question. Yo, Atari, you know Seth said in a pure martial arts fight, Batman would cream Goku. Do you believe that? I can address that. Let's add that to the questionnaire. We're about to free up the question queue, so I'm glad you asked that, because now we have 3 questions. Let's type Batman versus Goku hand to hand. And let's actually discuss that. All right. So check this out. So, hey, Brendan Jackson, I didn't finish answering your question. Don't jump the gun now. Pay attention, because this question is for you. So first things first, let's start frame by frame. So frame 1, when we actually start seeing the light, is right here. All right. So before you see the light fade in, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, frame 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then they hold it at 12 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. Then it changes again. Boom. And then that's the 19th frame. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Notice the gases. Notice the nebulon gases that contains the galaxy's spiral. Notice the gases are starting to dissipate. I believe we're at, I lost count, 31. Okay, next. So that's not a close-up. That's not a fade-in close-up, because the actual explosive waves you see and the debris is meticulously drawn in a way where you could see it. As an artist, I can also tell you this as well. Well, I also do animation, but as an artist, I can tell you as well that you can see clearly there are intentional fadeaways on the galaxy. All right. So what they did was they likely had an overlay, and they was able to smear it away slowly, because a fade-in effect would fade in the whole thing. When you have fade-in effects, because they had fade-in effects back then, a fade-in effect would make the whole screen dissipate at the same time. This is not a fade-in effect. This is deliberately them moving bits and pieces of the galaxy away. There we go. We're at one of the final frame points. Boom, boom, boom. And that's not a close-up. That's a fade-in shot of what they're trying to do to make an explosion. That's how they're doing the animation, because you have to think logically too. All right, so that is bam, bam, bam. Notice the galaxy is still in the picture. They just decided to, that's their way on saving a budget and animating the galaxy blowing away. So that's the whole galaxy blowing away. Now I'm gonna prove another reason. Now this is the fadeaway. They wouldn't do. Now let me teach you something about animation as well. The animators are not going to fade away into black. The animators are not going to fade into an image and then fade back into white. Why? Because look at this important thing. Namek already blew up. We already have a close up of Namek blowing up. This is a close up of Namek blowing up right there. So the intent of the animation intent is, let's show the planet blowing up close, then let's zoom out and show the audience how much collateral damage this explosion did. And that's the intention of the animation being done in this fashion. That's why you could see frame by frame the animation when you click it, bam, 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 bam. You could see that portions of the galaxy are meticulously being faded away. They already showed us a close-up of it blowing up. Why would they superfluously and redundantly and ad nauseumly go back into another close-up shot to show us the planet exploding when we already saw it explode? Think about it. They're going to show it blowing up. So think about it. We're already up close to the planet, where they're going to show it blow up the planet. Then we're going to zoom out of the galaxy and then go back in and see it blow up close again. That's redundant. So it's clear to tell that the animation intent was to show that this is destruction of a galaxy. Of course, not as of course beautifully and smoothly animated as the galaxy blowing up with Broly or when Majin Buu blew one up in a flashback. But this is showing that Toei's intent, at least back in, I think this was 1992, I think this came out, or 1991. Their intent was to show, all right, guys, so this is a galaxy, this is blowing up, boom, let's make it come up close. Then, not only that, they fade away into white again to kind of give us a digital spiraling effect to kind of make us feel like we're in Goku's spaceship with him as things are spiraling out of control. Because Goku's saying, I have no idea where I was going. In the Japanese, he says the exact same thing. So they're trying to give us an artistic representation. Hey, guys, look at all these fuzzy lines. We don't know where we're at, just like Goku. They're painting a perspective of that's how Goku sees it. So even under Occam's razor, this is the simplest answer is usually the most accurate. And even in this case, it's clear to see that the simplest answer is the intent of the animators is, hey, planet's blowing up. We're already up close. Here's an up close shot of it blowing up. You see these lines? Hey, that's called the radiation belt. Let's draw the radiation belt, the lines. Let's make it look interesting. Boom. Let's blow it up. We blow it up close, fade into white. Hey, let's show an even bigger explosion. Show them how big this explosion was. Bada boom, bada bing, bam. You literally see the galaxy slowly fade away and bam. Now we're going to blow it up again and then we're going to spiral out of control to show Goku's perspective. They're not going to redundantly show a close-up shot, blow it up, back out, zoom out to the galaxy, show another explosion, then zoom back in. You already showed us an explosion up close. Why do we need to see a second explosion again? That's not the animation intent. So I hope that was able to clarify what I meant by a frame-by-frame breakdown, and that's how we know Frieza blew up a galaxy. How many people... Now, we're going to actually have a vote here. And, you know, this is a non-discriminatory environment. Nobody to be discriminated against for having one. Okay. So, did Frieza blow up the galaxy? And, you know, some people are incredulous. Some people may not want to believe. Let me see here. Exit that. Let's ask the community. So go ahead, everyone. Have at it. I'm going to go ahead and read through the chat. I missed most of what you guys were saying because I was busy reading everything else. So now that we've exploded it, there you have it. All right. So let's see here. So let's go back up. The United States makes power. Let's see here. Brendan, let him finish. Oh, yeah, okay. Let it keep playing. Let's see here. It's about to get ready to zoom into the explosion. Let me play. I know, but you're confused. Okay, hold on. Brendan, let him finish. Let's see here. I'm looking for the scan. They're talking about other things. Nah, that's a reach. Saying that them destroying the galaxy because... on 2 other occasions, we have 2 more actual blatant examples of galaxy busting with Boo and Broly scene. That's the close-up of the explosion itself, not the planet pre-explosion, then explosion. Well, I mean, I already showed it on stream, so we're going to let everyone else see it. So 77% people believes the galaxy was blown up, which would 74%. The numbers are dwindling. Let's see. All right, let's see. LOL. Okay, so let's see. So Brendan Jackson says, LOL. How Toei depicts galaxies being destroyed do in fact matter, but all three scenes side by side tell me which one looks like the least like the galaxy being destroyed. Well, Brendan Jackson, you have to also factor in. Let's do some additional research. Okay, let's go to Google. Let's go to Google and let's say Dragon Ball episode list. All right. And let's look at it. Let's look at the episodes. So we're going to go and look up all the Dragon Ball Z's episodes. And we're going to go ahead and prove this once and for all. Because the key factor is, because Dragon Ball started in 1989, like the Z. So let's look at Z's episodes. So outside of the Saiyan Saga from 1989, all right, let's jump. Namek Saga, that's Ginyu. As I suspected, Frieza Saga, coming up. Son Goku survived, the Z Warriors all resurrected. I believe this is the episode. Let me see here. Yes, because this is right before Garlic Jr., planet's great explosion, Goku disappears into space, and this is Goku explains it. So right around here in 1991, all right? So that's a key date right there. So let's go ahead and mark that down. 1991 versus... So let's look at 1991, and let's see when the galaxy blows up with Kid Buu. Let's see when that comes. The Great Saiyaman. No, this is the Saiyaman Saga, so we got to get into Majin Buu. The man behind the curtains, the evil Babidi. All right, exposed. The Saiyaman is Gohan. Conspiracy. Gohan's power stolen. Yeah, it's around these two episodes. Because this is the episode when Supreme Kai goes into the flashback, which comes out... I was 8 days old. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine. Oh, no, this says 1994. Never mind. I'm still... No, not yet. But the point is... 1994. All right, now, let's also say... DBZ Broly Movie 8. When did it come out? So when did DBZ Broly 8 come out? March 6th, 1993. So let's see here. So if we look close, we got a 1991 style of animation, 1993 style of animation, which was a movie animation, and then 1994 style of animation. Let's take a look and compare and contrast. Buu destroys galaxy. Let's take a look. Let's take a look how that looks. Let's see the difference between the Broly and the Buu. So again, fair use. So we're talking about here. Boom, 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 bam. So we got the planets blowing up. Obviously, it's a little delayed in the sound department. So then we see here another planet blows up, and then after that, now we have the debris. The animators left the debris from the planets flying, just superheated particles. Then we see pink aura, electricity around the galaxy. Bam, 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 bam. So they use the deterioration method to show that he utilized a singular attack, more than likely, to destroy this entire galaxy. Then we have the Broly movie. Let's currently take a look at the Broly movie. Let's take a look. Again, a disintegrated grain effect. Very easy to do in programming.
The South Galaxy has been shattered
by a Super Saiyan. So, obviously, we can see both of these animation methods are similar. But the difference with the Frieza one is we're looking at animation styles from 1991. The difference here is that Broly is likely doing this in an extremely short amount of time or in a singular attack, according to Takeo Koyama. But it's also to factor in that unlike this galaxy and unlike this galaxy, which are heavy spiral galaxies, Frieza seemed to destroy more so of a nebula gas-based galaxy when we look back. And also Frieza's explosion is implicated through what looks like, and Frieza's explosion is implicated to what we see as an explosion by a planet. So the massive explosion and energy that was collected in the explosion from Namek is where the main epicenter of the blast is coming from. So that's why the blast looks like that. Because again, as I've stated before, it's a bit redundant as an animator. If you're going to show the planet blow up, all right, so we just saw the planet blow up. Well, why do we need to see the planet blow up again unless you're trying to show us how much damage the explosion did? That's the thing about Dragon Ball. They're always trying to top the next villain. They're trying to show like, hey, look how strong this blast was. They flex this all the time. I mean, when Frieza threw an attack against Trunks, he was like, wow, that has 10 times the power and energy that he used to destroy Namek. Because that's the thing that Toei's trying to do. They're trying to really create that shock value of like how strong these characters are. That's just how Toei was, especially back in the day. Keep in mind, they removed this feat out of Dragon Ball Z Kai. They kept Majin Buu destroying the galaxy, but in this, they removed this scene specifically. Probably because Toriyama may have supervised, or maybe Toei said, hey, maybe we made Frieza a little too dang strong. But that's just to show you that piece by piece, that's likely to animation. All right, so the poll is completed. Let's end it. What are the results? The results are 76% believe the galaxy was blown up and 23% believe a portion. So overall, people may believe it may not be the explosion, but hey, the proof is in the pudding. I showed you live on stream. We have a majority vote. We also have an animation-based vote. I'm not going to accuse you of being incredulous. Hey, well, okay, maybe you could be, but you know, if you feel a bit incredulous and maybe you want to think it over, by all means, think it over a bit. But just to show you that in the 1991 original classic, this is definitely evidence of a galaxy being destroyed. And you know, I'm not going to go back and forth. We got to move along with the next question. But if you don't believe that's enough evidence, then I'm just going to say humbly that, well, that's going to be something you're going to have to reflect on. Maybe you need to watch the animation again and think about animation intent. You sometimes, just like we say, look at the author's intent, the narrative. What is the author's intention? Sometimes you got to look at the same thing. Man, look at all these. Oh, yeah, I was listening to Bleach. Yeah, I was listening to Bleach music. Don't judge me. I get some funny recommendations because of YouTube Shorts. All right, but anyway, as you guys could see, so that is Frieza destroying a galaxy. Clear, cut, and dry. There we got it. Let's move on to the next set of questions. Let me see here. All right, let's see here. Moving on, Broly had a higher budget. That's how even they fare. Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, you could see they were kind of animating it shortly. That's a good point as well. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see. So overall, I would just say this. My last comments on it, hey, it's not worth arguing about. It's animation. If you don't believe that's enough evidence for galaxy, hey, you can keep multi-solar system. If you believe that Toei would, superfluously throw in 2 planetary explosions, hey, by all means. But again, you're going to have a lot of people who's going to disagree with you. If you think that the intent of Harry Potter finding the Sorcerer's Stone was because of plot armor and not because of other context clues that J.K. Rowling left in the story, you're left to your own devices. You can have that and you can believe that, but we got to look at J.K. Rowling's intent when she wrote that. And the same thing would be for Toei Animation. We got to look at their intent when they drew this scene. They're not going to show us why are you going to show us a galaxy unless you're trying to imply that something more than a galaxy blew up? You're not going to do that. When I do my comics for Eternal Kala, I don't draw outside screenshots because I'm trying to just make a big explosion and then go back in and then show another explosion by zooming back in. I'm going to just say it one more time. I'm going to just ad nauseum this one more time. The planet exploded. They zoom out to the galaxy. You see the galaxy, you see the explosion from the galaxy, and then you see a bigger explosion. Why do we know it's not a fade in? Because frame by frame, you could see the galaxy gases dissipate. Secondly, why are they going to draw the planet blowing up? We just saw the planet blow up in front of our face, up close in person. It fades into white, and then what, we're going to see the planet blow up again? And then they're going to just zoom back in after showing us a galaxy shot? That sounds very deceptive as a way to animate the context that you're trying to make a villain or a character galaxy level. That seems very deceptive. And no offense, my friend Brandon, my brother, not calling you out, just just putting it on stream, you know, just answering your question. It was just answering a question as a question. This is not a debate. This is why this is what I believe the assessment that Frieza being galaxy level within the confines of the animation, within the confines of the consistency that the series is pushing, is going to be, you know, a sound argument from my assessment. There's a majority that agree. I'm glad to see so, but I'm just saying from an animation perspective, from an animator's intent perspective, it's clear to see where they were going with that. I don't think they were trying to convey, hey, let's only make a multi-solar system specifically. If they wanted to do that, they would just show the explosion like a big poof from a galaxy distance, and then they would just leave it there. They wouldn't create an even bigger explosion and then say, oh, we're going to zoom in on that explosion. I don't think there's any need to do that, especially when you just showed the explosion a few frames prior to that. It's just redundant and seems deceptive. I don't think that's what they were going for. And there you have it. So, next up, for the next question, and also a good question, nonetheless. I still like those questions because it allows me to bring forth, you know, the evidence, which I'm really glad you still asked the question anyway, because even if you don't agree, it's all good. It's all good. It's just a question. Next up on the list, Seth's higher dimensional rebuttal. So Seth doesn't believe the afterlife is a higher dimension. So I'm going to address this one very shortly and simply. You know, is nothing against Seth. Higher dimensionality was, from what my experience dealing with Seth in the past, my experience watching Seth's current videos and his other videos, Seth was never the higher dimensional guy. He never dealt with higher dimensions. All our times talking, if you want to ask Stride and Harvado, who's found old conversations of me and Seth engaging in the comment section, Seth was never a big advocate on higher dimensionality. He never really delved into that category. So it's not knocking the knowledge he has now, but it's saying that that's not something he's commonly pursued. That's not something he promotes as much in his video. I don't even see a higher dimensional video that concretely explains it in layman's terms through the versus battle wiki algorithm. I do know that back then he did give me some correction on the versus battle because I was mixing actual reality string theory with fiction. So I'm glad he corrected me on that. I'm not going to deny that. But Harvado, before thank you for the donation. $4.99 donation from Harvado. Thank you so much, my friend. I greatly appreciate it. You are awesome. Thank you so much, my friend. That is amazing. I really, really, really appreciate it. Let's get some Overwatch scaling. Hey, man, you talk about it, I'll bring it to the table. I might have to get the game and start scaling it then if that's the case. But to answer the question, Seth is not someone who usually talks about higher dimensional scaling. He knows about it. I'm sure he's knowledgeable, but I would say he's not someone who delves into the deeper philosophies, or rather the deeper compartments of how it should generally be scaled. He knows about it. He doesn't dive too deep into it. I've been dealing with that stuff since I began power scaling. You guys seen it on my own channel with Samasu. Even though there will be arguments I'm wrong on, the result is that I'm still learning so that I can improve upon how I can articulate that. I'm one of the few YouTubers besides me and potentially this Chuck, I know who talked about it, Just a Robot who talked about it. I know Surfbone talked about it too. I know there's a few people who talked about higher dimensions. But the way they talk about it typically is generally under the scope of the Versus Battle Wiki. I go beyond that. It's not just about the Versus Battle Wiki. It's about a generalization of different levels of scaling. Because let's talk about examples that I can give you guys right off the bat. You can have higher space-time continuums, like higher spatial temporals. You can do that. Number two, you could just have higher dimensions. And then number three, one of the most underlooked, higher reality. So let me give you an example. Let's paint a couple of examples. Let me take you right over to my paint program, and we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So let's go ahead and dive into my Clip Studio realm. So right into my Clip Studio domain, where I'm going to teach you guys an example. is let's open up a new project and let's go ahead and give an example. So let's say, for example, you have someone like, let's say, for example, you have someone like the Incredible Hulk. So the Hulk is known to be, this is the most janky Hulk I've ever drawn in my life, but you get the point. So the Hulk is someone who is known to be like, because Marvel typically has verbatim statements. So the Dark Dimension is known to be, in some cases, a 6-dimensional infrastructure, right? Marvel follows a level of M theory, which sometimes utilizes a structure of not just membranes, but it also utilizes a structure of understanding higher dimensions. Let's talk about some of our other homeboys. So let's talk about one of our 2 homeboys. And let's talk about one homegirl. I'm probably not going to draw her the best, but so let me give you their names so you know who they are. So let's talk about these guys. And sorry, the dogs are being absolute goofballs right now. So let's talk a little bit about these guys. So what's the difference between them? I'm going to show you something. So with Anos, we like to deal with higher realities. So a higher reality has the property of a higher dimension and can be infinitely greater than the prior reality. It does not need a cardinal numeric number. The numeric number we apply is based on the position that the cosmology has. I'll give an example with Anos in a different slide. Here's another example. So for Anos, let's make this silver. We're going to go ahead and get this nice and silvered out for you guys, because this example is going to definitely go far. So let's say this is let's make this nice and there we go. This is the Silver Sea. So to understand, like I said, to understand the Silver Sea is simple. Let's take the shallow layer. This is the first layer. We're going to put 1L for first layer. Now, in the first layer, right, there are an infinite number of bubbles in this layer, okay? Infinite bubbles. Remember, according to the very author himself, a single bubble has an infinite sky. So if it has an infinite sky, and within each of those skies has its own world god / abyssal world. And like Andre and Roz and I discuss, this is more so like a macrocosm. Now, these don't have numeric dimensional numbers, but they are categorized as dimensions within the series, but they're not numerical. So we know that having its own space-time continuum, because Misfits follows time and space, we know that one sky should be at least 4D. You could put LM for low multiversal. There's an infinite number of these. Okay, so that means the layer that contains it is 5D, right? Because just like infinite parallel worlds, there's infinite amount of these bubbles. Cool. All right, makes sense. Very self-explanatory, simple. Should be easy. That's easy to understand. But now, even though we know layer 1 is 5D, what about the second layer? So let's go to layer 2. Layer 2, according to this is just an example. And the same story, if you have enough power to destroy this 4D world, right? Having enough power to destroy this 4D world, this bubble in the first layer bubble, right? If you have enough power to destroy that, you can't even destroy a little boat in the second layer. Meaning a boat, a finite, keyword, a finite boat in the second layer is more durable than an infinite size, or I should say, a multi-infinite size, low multiversal bubble in the first layer. So in other words, each of these Layer 2, so every bubble in the second layer, according to the context of what the author's telling us within the story and narrative, every bubble in the second layer is equal to 5D, meaning the second layer's entire layer is more like 6D. You get what I'm saying? And it goes so on and so forth and so on. Now, can Anos destroy the entire Silver Sea? That's something that fans kind of came and speculated. We don't even know what Anos can do. We don't have any idea how strong or how low the series goes, but that's how big they are. They use realities. They don't use numerical numbers straight up. So that's realities, using higher realities. You know who else uses higher realities? Nakaruru, Goku. But you know what else they use? Hey, they use the same thing the Hulk does. They also use some levels of M theory and some levels of science. Nakaruru uses M theory in some cases. Goku utilizes many worlds interpretation theory. So they utilize science and, of course, mythology in combination to higher realities. So the afterlife in Dragon Ball may not be a numeric higher reality, but the context is it is a higher reality, especially when Koyama agrees, the 1999 data book agrees, and then you have the Daisenshu 4 agreeing. Hey, man, this is no knock on Seth whatsoever. I don't want any smoke, but immediately I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm going to believe Koyama over Seth. I'm going to believe a 1999 data book from Mike Pondsmith, who got his information from the Daisenshu 4 in conjunction as a more reliable source of evidence. And given the way they treat the afterlife in the series, yeah, I'm going to stick with the narrative. The afterlife is definitely, as far as we know, it is objectively a higher dimensional reality. So I hope that answers that question right there. So there you have it. That question was answered. The afterlife is 100% a higher reality. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a small break and read the chat. Let's go ahead and read what you guys got to say. Meanwhile, let me go ahead and read this. Okay. Hey, chat. Sorry if I'm not responding immediately. I'm trying to answer questions. All right, let's talk about this here. Hey, it's Ari. How strong do you think Eos from Dragon Ball Heroes is, considering she was able to fight on par with Ultra Instinct Capsule Corp Goku? Well, I'll tell you this, Texas Toast. The simple answer is she's as strong as Capsule Corp Goku is. So if you're asking how strong is she AP-wise, well, that's a different discussion. Well, a Cell could destroy a galactic nebula, and Frieza could survive in the anime against a Genki Dama that used the energy of planet stars. Destroying stars for Frieza is no problem. Good job. A good point, Demon Bane. Atari, mathematical dimension scaling is probably the reason why people still don't think Goku is 5D. I agree, the Dark Knight, and that's the flaw that people have made. I'm not going to put him on the spot or shoot him under the bus, but I had the conversation with Ryu. Ryu and I fortunately agreed on the same notion. Ryu also believed that if infinite energy in one realm is trivial to another realm, then it's clear the indication is they want it to be a higher dimension. Because I'm going to keep it simple, chat. Rather you like Anos or not, don't worry about it. Don't even think of this as Anos. It has nothing to do with Anos. This next question, let's just say you move Anos out the picture. Anos, just remove him out the picture, all right? Answer this question. If I had enough energy to destroy an infinite 4D size universe with my fist, and in general, and I go down to a second level, in that second level, my fist, despite being able to destroy an infinite structure, cannot, even at my full power, could not even destroy a simple cruise ship. So in other words, my infinite power in the first realm I just came from is literally finite in fodder in the second realm I come to. What is that indicating to you? What do you think the writer is trying to tell us about these two worlds? What do you think he's telling us? That's all I need to know from you guys. Couldn't it just be higher into 4D? Well, SR Nova, that's a good question, but you have to remember, you already can destroy a low multiverse structure. Yet despite being able to destroy a low multiverse structure, you can't even destroy a finite cruise ship. So you can't even destroy something finite in the next realm. But you could destroy something infinite from the realm you just came from. What is this telling you? Let's see here. So that's what I'm gonna say there. The scan is new, and when Atari scaled Xenogoku, it didn't exist. The scan says the universe tree has infinite dimensions where one transcends the last in concept time. Hey, man, if that's the case, then that supports my argument for Outer versus Xenogoku, but we'll talk about that later. But let me also tell you this. Remember, guys, one thing I also discussed with my buddy Ryu on, and Roz and Andre and I, and even Harvada, we had this discussion in Stride. We learned that, you see, this is specifically from Ryu's portion. Outerversal is a fan-made term. Okay? So immediately, as soon as you learn it's a fan-made term, you have to know how far is that fan-made term going. BRB, doggies being annoying. All right, I'm back. So, with that said, Atari gonna Hakai his dog. Not quite, but yeah. But what if... Okay, so SR Nova asked a good question. Yeah, but what if it was a higher... What if it was a layer higher into the infinite 4D? Just like no matter how many 2D squares you stack, you will never reach 3D. So deeper layers are just one infinite 4D layer higher. Well, SR Nova, here's the reality. That's not how we do higher dimensional tiering. Because if you wanted to go by that terminology, then that would mean the 16th dimensional super multiverse the Living Tribunal had would also fall under that paradigm. And it would also mean that even though the afterlife is transcendent, it would fall under that paradigm too. You see, the key is to understand the context of what the author is telling us. If it's clearly indicated that infinite power that can destroy 4D, because basically you're 4D plus. I can destroy a low multiverse. All right. So even though I can destroy a low multiverse, I can't even destroy a single cruise ship. The indication is of a higher reality, of a deeper realm. And they make that clear because the context of the entire scan, when I pull it up, which I'm going to do right now for you guys, just to give some clarification. By the way, Versus Battle Wiki had a conversation about this, and the only reason why they didn't give him the grade is because they said, we need more evidence. We don't know yet. Versus Battle Wiki never denied that. Versus Battle Wiki themselves even agreed. Yeah, this definitely suits transcending hierarchy. This definitely meets our criteria. But because we don't know enough, we're going to wait for more information to clarify. So they didn't give him the upgrade because of that reason. No other reason besides that. If you want the real story. Let's talk about this. Let's see the scan. Let's see if I could find it. Let's see here. Scan. All right. All right, bear with me a moment. You know, staring at your water bowl is not going to make water come into a doggy. You have to ask me. I'll be right here, just giving the dog water. I think he just wants attention to be on the stream because he has water too. All right, boy, I'm coming. I said I'm coming. Exactly. All right, so let me go ahead and pull up the scan from my actual video. Exactly, I agree. So let's go ahead and pull up the scan from my video. Oh, one moment. Here you go, puppy. Now, you are really trying to interrupt everything, aren't you? Here you go. And you have water already. You just want more. Little guy. All right, so basically here,
the cosmology is straightforward. However, let's keep it in simple terms.
so as you can see here, he says, the author himself even says, I think there's still many people who misunderstand the true meaning of the Silver Sea. Here's an easy explanation of understanding the true meaning of the Silver Sea. He says there are many layers in the Silver Sea, and there are countless bubbles in each layer, and there's an infinite sky in each bubble. There, it stretches on endlessly with no end, and it is where that world's God is located. Each god has its own world, and there is a deeper world, the world of the Lord God, or the abyssal world. And so they ask him, so is the size of each layer infinite? He says, yes, each layer of the Silver Sea has infinite size. There are 99 layers of the Silver Sea already described in this novel. Matter of fact, there are still many layers deeper than 99 in the Silver Sea. That's all I have to say about the Silver Sea. Thank you for reading my work, and I really appreciate all my readers, and thank you for supporting me. Now, all right, let's go ahead. Let's see here. Next, 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, Atari, get to the point. I know. I'm impatient with my own videos. Here it is. So right here, where I have the scan. This is actually straight from the novel itself, the web novel. And this small world that exists deeper than yours, the power of everything is in another dimension. So they're talking about the power you have is like it's on another dimensional level. That's literally what it's intending. If you read the Japanese, remember, this is a translation. Anyway, strength, speed, stubbornness, magic, everything, aka conceptual things. Stubbornness is an emotional aspect. Magic is a energetic aspect. Speed and strength is based on stats. Anyway, in everything, the resistance of a single grain of air. Even so, it will be a weight for you. Even if I cast magic that will destroy your shallow world, I won't be able to destroy a single ship here. So, hey, you have an infinite size world? I can destroy that. Wow, you have that much magic? Yup. Do you have enough magic to destroy the world here? Nope, don't have it. I won't be able to destroy it here. Now, some people have said that this scan was taken out of context because they were saying that just means the magic that you used in the other world exists there, but that's not actually true at all. So, I hope that clarifies a bit of exactly what is intended. But that is an example of what we were talking about. It's very clear to see where they're going with this. But, yeah. Let's see here. So, yeah, that question, I hope that question was answered. Let's go ahead and move along to 56. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the next question we got coming up. Batman versus Goku hand to hand. Okay, I'm gonna just keep this simple. Goku can honestly learn martial arts as he goes, and the same move that worked on him once won't work on him again. So in a hand-to-hand combat, Goku will have fun versus Batman, but I don't think Batman will win. Simply because Goku has learned to outdo martial artists who've been fighting for all their lives and have found styles beyond most conventional styles. So I don't really think Batman's going to supersede Goku in any ability in combat. Goku learns what he sees. So if he sees Batman emulate something, he's going to copy it if it's optimal. And Goku's not only going to copy what Batman does, he's probably going to do it even better than Batman, just because Goku's ability is to be able to emulate. So honestly, I don't think Batman's going to beat Goku in hand-to-hand. I know a lot of us want to believe he would, but Batman won't even beat Yujiro in hand-to-hand. Batman may know a lot of martial arts. He knows every martial arts in the world. I'm like, yeah. But then what are the martial arts to everyone in the world? What martial arts does he know? List them down. Because Yujiro knows every martial arts, but they have martial arts in Baki that aren't even really in real life. Like Shaori is an actual technique, but it's not under the Kaio martial art. That's not a real martial art. So we got to look at the application of how those martial arts behave to really determine how does that work? Because the Tao Pai Pai martial art is like Tao Pai Pai, who took the same martial arts with Tien and such, Tien Shinhan. They use the Dodon Ray. So it's like, well, that was strange. Anyway, the dog had Taco Bell. The point is, I don't think there's really much room to need to go into this question any further. Batman versus Goku, that has been resolved. So let's go ahead and move to another question then. So now that we're in about... Now that we are in... Let me lower my microphone. Now, as I was saying, that I lowered that volume down. So now what we're going to really focus on... Yeah, that's true. Goku also learned. Depressing music? That's funny. That's funny. So anyway, someone blasting jazz. Oh no, that's not jazz. No, there's some work being done downstairs. All right, so another one. 3 billion SpongeBobs versus Goku. All right. Good question, Retro. All right. 3 bill Sponge versus Goku. All right, let's answer that question. Because that question is surprisingly easy to answer. But the way I'm going to answer it is going to be based on very simple notions. Like I said before, Toon Force. First and foremost, Toon Force, don't get it confused. Toon Force, it's limited. What people don't realize is Toon Force also has outliers. What is the most consistent gag a character does? And you can use that as your argument. But if the gag is like an outlier, SpongeBob taking the strings from the universe, going to the 8th dimension to fight the great giant monkey man, you know, things like that. It's like, okay, is the 8th dimension like a numeric 8th dimension? Like, hey, we live in Earth, the 3rd dimension. You know, or it's like, hey, we're in Earth. This is the 1st dimension. There's actually another place that has a planet just like us that's also... So it could be a 3-dimensional numeric dimension that's called the 8th dimension because it's the 8th dimension within the multiverse. Not actually an 8th dimensional infinite construct, because there's a difference. So in that context, I would never say that SpongeBob wins the battle. I would never say SpongeBob can beat Goku off of that premise alone. Even if we factored in SpongeBob taking away the universe and doing what he's done before, I would never argue that that's enough to beat Goku. Because honestly, if SpongeBob does that, the best I'll say is he's 4D. Honestly, given that even if SpongeBob was 4D, that wouldn't be anything to a Master Ultra Instinct Goku. Because a Master Ultra Instinct Goku is 2 things. Number 1, and I'm going to list it right here in the chat. And you guys are going to, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to agree with me. Number 1, oh, hold on. Because here's the thing Master Goku is. Number 1, serious. Number 2, not joking. Number 3, gets things done. So all of that is the exact thing that fits Master Ultra Instinct Goku. If he sees 3 billion SpongeBobs, none of the SpongeBobs will hit him. Goku powers up. 3 billion SpongeBobs can fit on the Earth. If Goku gets up, goes to the Earth, and blows it up with a ki blast, which he wouldn't do, but if he nukes that area as Master Ultra Instinct, or if he uses his telekinesis to gather all the SpongeBobs against their will, because Moro couldn't even break out, and you're not going to convince me SpongeBob's as strong as Moro. Goku takes all the SpongeBobs, piles them up into a big sponge ball, and then he throws them, and then he just Kamehameha. That's it. Game over. Or God binds all of them, and they can't do anything. SpongeBob doesn't have God Key, and he doesn't have resistance to break it out. Oh, but you have gags, and SpongeBob's really iffy on the gags. He's not Bugs Bunny level gags. Most of the gags he does, if it's not in congruency with the episode's gag, it doesn't work. Because like they said, remember the ghost that Beerus dealt with? Hey, this episode's about me. Beerus didn't care. I don't care if you're the main plot line of the episode. I'll destroy you. And so given that Goku is implied to be even around that level, would even also insinuate that SpongeBob wouldn't do the same thing. Unless you're going to tell me that SpongeBob has better gags than Raleigh. I think the best gag SpongeBob had was pulling the strings of the universe. And turning it off too at some point, or something like that. But even then, okay, you turned off the universe, and you honestly think Ultra Instinct is not going to just stand there like Alien X, just like, okay, and next, what's your problem? It's in a genuine, honest battle. I think honestly, Master Ultra Instinct wins with like, I don't want to say negative difficulty to be rude, but given that Ultra Instinct is a tryhard, he's a sweaty tryhard, he's probably just going to sweat on SpongeBob, and SpongeBob's going to lose in less than an attosecond. Literally. That's not even an exaggeration. In fact, it won't even be a plonk. If Goku's serious about ending the battle, it'd be beyond time. SpongeBob wouldn't perceive what the heck just happened because he'd just vanish. Especially if it's bloodlusted and he just Hakkai's him out of instinct. Which Goku wouldn't do in character unless SpongeBob's absolutely evil. But, I mean, Goku could absolutely destroy. Goku was willing to Hakkai Zamasu. So Goku, if he needs to kill you and knows you're a big, big, big threat, he'll do it. So it depends on how's Goku taking his battle. Is he like how he was with Granola? Because then he'll just beat every SpongeBob, but then he'll still possibly get caught off guard because he's still out of practice. There's a lot of variables in this battle, but honestly, from a general standpoint, SpongeBob's not beating Goku. I've watched SpongeBob just as much as the next guy. I've seen the comics, I've seen the novels, I've seen the side episodes, I've seen the movies, I've seen the interviews where the composite SpongeBob can come into play. But no, typically no, he's not beating Goku. Not even close. So, yeah, I would say that. Yeah, but even with the comic feats, I would never give it to SpongeBob. There's no consistency on that supports him winning the battle, and like if I'm gonna give SpongeBob all his comic feats, I might as well combine anime and novel Goku from the Broly movies. Yeah, and that just kind of feels, I don't know. It just kind of feels eh. And SpongeBob isn't like Ed, Edd and Eddy, where it's kind of like a semi-continuation. SpongeBob's like Family Guy, where each episode happens, and sure, it's semi put into the history of canons, but for the most part, it's never really solidified because every episode's a new adventure. Some episodes he can lift the seahorse on his back, and some episodes he can't lift marshmallows or teddy bears. Other episodes he can literally carry Larry the Lobster and throw him in the back of a ship because he thinks everyone's an alien. You know what I mean? It's so weird. Some episodes he can react to light lasers from plankton being thrown at him, but he can't react to like some of the stupidest slow things. Like what was that episode? He was like, no, or something like that, where he was acting all stupid, saying no. I forgot that episode, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, that question has been answered. SpongeBob versus 6 million Gokus. Alright, so now that question is out of the way, SpongeBob versus Goku. Let's go ahead and read Thor's comment. And it's been a month. What have you been doing? Have you researched the Elder Scrolls Cosmology I suggested? Thor, to be honest with you, no, I haven't. There's a lot of series to do. I mean, freedom of time is very valuable. That's why it can be quite difficult to do it. So I'd have to really dig deep into there and sit down and do a lot of research. Elder Scrolls is not a small series. It's not small. Bleach, I can do because I watched it. Naruto, I can do. I've watched it. One Piece, I can do. I've watched it. You know, Dragon Ball, I've watched it. Saint Seiya, I've studied and watched partial of it. Umineko, I've played half of it. You know what I mean? Daizire, I haven't done enough research as I wanted to, but even with Daizire, there's like a lot of like, And like I said, like look at Anos. I used to say Anos was like he wasn't even strong, but then I looked further into the series, read it for myself a bit, and I realized, okay, this guy is a crazy. Then the same thing with Umineko. I'm like, all right, Featherin's not out of Versal, but she definitely is. She's starting to really hit the border of hyperversal potentially. She's really strong, but there's a difference. If I'm looking at it myself and I see there's a consistent and a coherent argument for a character to be certain strength, I'll accept it. I thought Ijimu would lose to Majin Buu. But then upon looking at the series and realized, okay, maybe it's not a no limits fallacy. Maybe I just dealt with a lot of baboons who don't know how to explain how the Midaka box cosmology works. It's like Saitama fans. A lot of Saitama fans are upset with my video. They think Saitama is multi-galaxy. He's multi-star level. And I'm like, guys, relax. He's going to get there. But right now, these feats don't support it. His best scaling, if his sneeze has 0.003 joules of energy and a boxer has 800, all right, let's scale his joules of energy in comparison. All right, he's dwarf star level. Cool beans. Every punch he throws is dwarf star level. That means Garu got hit with like 100 different punches in whatever many seconds, maybe a million. And Garu's like, God dang, if I keep getting hit, he's going to get stronger. So yeah, Saitama eventually went to dwarf star plus, probably small star, probably medium-sized star as the battle pursued. How much was he going to grow? We don't know. We can't assume he was going to get to Galaxy. So that's why I stopped at the cap. And that's really good. I mean, Saitama's serious punch is as strong as Yardrat Goku's finger. I don't mean that as a disrespectful way. I just mean Yardrat Goku's finger is, well, pretty broken. But the fact is, Saitama can compete with that. So that's pretty good. And then you realize Yardrat Goku's finger is technically multi-galaxy level in the anime. But we're not going to talk about that. Who do you think would win between Fused Momoshiki and Kaguya? Random Citizen, in my honest opinion, I think that Momoshiki's not afraid of Kaguya, but I think Kaguya has the means to win. And what I mean by that is, I think of Kaguya is like Aokiji, or Aokiji. Whereas like Momoshiki is like Doflamingo. Like Doflamingo, he would lose against fighting Kuzan. He would definitely lose against Aokiji. But he definitely wasn't afraid of him. He's like, yo, I'll square up with you right now. And when Fujitora came in, Doflamingo was like, I'll fight an admiral. I don't care. I'm not scared of y'all. And it makes sense. Doflamingo got heavily damaged before he even fought Gear 4 Luffy. That's why people say Doflamingo could be as strong as Cracker. Potentially. I mean, he also got caught off guard by Luffy as well. And we have to factor in his organs were damaged. Oh, he healed himself. That doesn't mean it didn't take stamina. So. But yeah, overall, that's how I look at those two. So I would give it a Kaguya, in my opinion. Let's see here. Oh, man. I was hoping in a month you would have learned enough. But then, what have you been doing the past month since it's been a while? Well, I've been working, actually. Like I said, I have a new employment. New employment focusing on my comic series that I've been working on. We got a lot of things. We got employment, comic series. I am married, as most people would know. So, obviously, I don't have as much luxury as I'd want. Until we get to a certain amount of subscribers, where maybe this can be full time. But obviously, since we're not there yet, if I had as many once we hit 1 million subscribers, okay, maybe that's pushing it. But once we get to 500K subscribers, then this might turn into full time. Then we might be yo, Atari's putting videos out every day. Because I plan on even doing meet and greets if I can. But obviously, right now, this is still a small channel. So, you know how you can help me? Like that video, subscribe, and share it with your friends. As many friends as you can. Tell them subscribe, or you're a baboon. I'm just kidding. Don't tell them they're a baboon. Knowing you, chat, you're probably are gonna tell people they're baboons just because I told you not to do it. Don't call them baboons. We're going to do it anyway. Neo Dio versus God. Come on, Roz. What the heck is wrong with you, bro? You seriously want that? Come on, man. They kind of... All right, so first off, let me tell you something about Garu is very strong. But then you have Neo Dio, all right? SNK. Just... First off, you have this baboon. All right. He's not a true baboon, but this dude is crazy. So let's talk a little bit about this guy. This guy's absolutely nuts. He's went bananas. He's lost his absolute mind. This dude is like crazy. Let's pull up a picture of him. All right, so this is Neo Dio, all right? This dude crazy. He's crazy. So why is he crazy? Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know exactly. I just remember he has some crazy planetary level feats that are done on a different level in the hacks. I don't remember 100% because it's been since 1999 or something since I remember my brother or them playing this game. I was too young. I don't know what was going on. So, but there's that. I can't tell you. But I can tell you that I can guarantee you he would beat Garu. Seriously. That's why I told you, stop doing that, Roz. What were you thinking? Now, chat. Now I'm going to ask you, chat. Now my turn. Now, chat, I'm going to ask you the question. Now Atari going to ask you the questions. Who do you think will win a fight? Huh? I'm going to put a poll. People want to highball Saitama so much. Well, all right, I'll give you something to highball. Let's see what people say. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Go ahead. Have fun with the question. Who'd win in the fight? Who win in the fight to the death? Yeah, go ahead, guys. Start picking. Hey, Goku, you see this question? Stupid question, bro. Oh, bro. Oh, let me pull this scan up just in case. Hey, Goku, look at these dumb. Are you serious? Somebody pick Saitama in the chat. Somebody in here picked Saitama. Oh, man. Who voted for Saitama? Oh, hell no. Oh, no. Somebody in here. No, heck, no, we got it. No. Somebody vote. I can't even see who voted for him. Hold on. Can I see it? I can't even see. Okay, hold on. I can click. Man. You sign into Google. Here. Sign into Google. Shut up. Telling me to sign into goddamn Google. All right, let's see here. Deal. Neo deal. Man, I don't want to do a two-step back. Freaking B. Let me see your 1-2 step. Oh, let me see. Do his 2-step verification. Yeah, shut the heck up. Two-step. Two-step these nuts. Anyway. Bottom line, who voted for Saitama? SpongeBob. I think I voted for Saitama. Patrick. So yeah, we're not going there. We're not going there. No. Oh boy. Yeah, we're not going there. All right, yeah, maybe this will work. Yeah, let's go. Woo! Man, I'm in the chat. I don't want to do all that. You just, yep. I don't need it. So anyway, guys, somebody voted for Saitama. Who did it? I don't know. We'll find out, though, later. Or we'll never find out. The world may never know. So anyway, let's end this poll. 30 votes. That's crazy. Oh, man. So one person in here voted for Saitama. One person. Dark Knight. So I have two opinions on that. I think if it's Xeno Goku, Goku wins. I think if it's regular Goku, I think Spawn can win. But it's very fishy. Because it's going to depend solely on, do we actually have Spawn at Hyperversal, or do we just leave Spawn to his own devices to being a more of a lower complex multiversal being? Because we're going to have Spawn in the lower complex. Goku's going to, anime Goku can absolutely, there's him. But if it's manga Goku, then it's actually a really interesting fight. But Spawn has a lot of hacks and abilities. Goku's going to have a very, very, very tough time against Spawn. And to that point, I would say Spawn has more versatility than Goku in some areas. Because Goku could just learn some of Spawn's stuff. So I would say better matchup would be Goku versus Spawn anime. In my honest opinion, though, I think Spawn definitely has more advantages. Because the context of the story, as you can see by this scan, I literally pulled up, as it says, Horus was the loopiest out of the lot. He struck out on his own, having mathematically proven the existence of at least 20 dimensions beyond our own. So 20 dimensions. We know there are 3 dimensions. So he said beyond our own. Now, if you want to say space-time included, that's 24 dimensions. So, yeah. If you want to include this scan, then you kind of, And just to show you guys up close. Yeah, so... So, I mean, if we're going with this scan and we're keeping it mathematically verbatim, like if we're talking, because mathematics doesn't mean they're infinitely transcendent. All right? But keep in mind, he said he was one of the curious subset of mathematicians who were using mathematics to predict dimensionality. In other words, he believed time was a dimension whose properties could be accurately predicted, which basically meant that he and his buddies were complete bonkers. So, in other words, it's interesting because again, that means dimensions to 20 dimensions beyond our own. He knew time was part of our dimension that we experience. So, obviously, in this context, 24 dimensions is likely the scale. Then you have heaven, which is implied to be of its own universe, but in some contexts is implied to be a higher dimension. So if you want to go with that direction to Spawn, you could say 25th dimensional, but I don't know about that. That's up for discussion, and further research is going to be done on that on my end. But yeah. Have you seen the trio gods? Kratos, Dante, and Doomguy shorts? Nope. But I definitely know that Kratos is higher than multiversal. I agree, Roz. All right, so guys, we're going to be, so we've answered quite a bit of questions today. The streams are going to be short because it's a weekday, sadly. I know. But that's why I didn't do a short today. I didn't do a short because the time I would spend doing a short is actually the time I'm going to spend on the stream. I got a lot of other things I got to regulate in my schedule. I didn't eat today, by the way, guys. So I definitely got to get something in my belly. And, I mean, I could do a live stream of Atari cooking, but I don't think anyone in the chat feels like seeing that, so we could skip that. Zekshal, I hear ya. I hear where you're coming from. I see where you're going. But I'm going to have to stop you right there, brother. I completely understand where you're going with this. I personally, as well as most others, we like to go with this cosmology list I made. Because, okay, so you see, this is actually going to be different. Okay, I'm going to tell you what. First of all, the time rooms are their own thing. All right, there's 8 other dimensions. There's 8 other dimensions within the heavenly realm, which include the pendulum room. The pendulum room is its own 5D world. So, all right. So, it's its own place of space and time. So, the living world, all right, that's 5D. But Garley Jr. space is also a hyperspace as well. So, that's also 5D. So, obviously, that's an extra dimension beyond 3D. So, that's 4D plus 5D. Cool. I mean, 4D plus a 1 temporal dimension, that's 5D. Cool. That means a living world that contains everything in it, 6D. Cool. Afterlife, 7D. Cool. The actual macrocosm that contained it was intended to be 8th dimensional, neutral zone, 9th dimensional, Xenoworld, 10th dimensional, the time ring, 11th dimensional, and the overall infinite time lane nexus is 12th dimensional. I have to modify and update this list, but truth is, Zeno and Grand Priest are the only known low hyperversal beings for Dragon Ball. That is the only case for main canon Dragon Ball anime. The main cosmology is only Zeno and the Grand Priest are at that level. So, in other words, only Zeno and Grand Priest can fight Geese. All right, let me stop. Because technically Geese is 13th dimensional since verse and reverse are beyond the membranes. So you could go about that too. So obviously that's the case. But obviously, like in the main canon, that's impressive. I mean, that means all I could say. Oh, thank you,
Atari
RJ.
make a video of do scale wangling. Folded hands. Folded hands.
Did you just say folded hands 3 times? Certainly. All right, let me go ahead and put that on my priority list. Certainly. Sorry, make a video of scale wangling. I have to learn more about wangling, but I will definitely keep that on my list of shorts to make. Certainly, my friend. Nakaruru versus Whis. See, that's an interesting battle. It depends. I would say Whis has more versatility than Nakaruru, so if their stats are equalized, Whis no questions. But if we're using Nakaruru's general stats, then it becomes difficult, because she might outstat Whis unless we get more intel on the Angel Realm. But we have to also remember the Room of Spirit and Time is separated, so there's a lot of information that needs to be updated for Dragon Ball's cosmology. But so far, I would update it to 12th dimensional personally. I think that's the peak. I think Goku and Jiren are 11th dimensional, which, yeah, I know Jiren can glare away Vegeta's Final Flash, which means Jiren could literally glare away 11th dimensional attacks. So yes, under the certain scope, since the anti-spiral is between 10th and 11th dimensional, as much as people probably hate me saying this, I mean, I don't know, people might love this. You guys put some fires in the chat if you love what I'm about to say. Jiren can glare away anti-spiral. Sorry, if you gotta cope with it, cope with it. I'm saying it is what it is. I haven't updated this, but generally speaking, Jiren should be able to glare away multiple 11th dimensional space-time structures in the context of how much AP he carries. In the context of how much AP he carries. Yeah, exactly, Andre. Jiren's basically 11.5D. Exactly, tension down. So even if I don't really go with the whole Dragon Ball is like, even if I don't go to the outerversal narrative, the hyperversal narrative, well, okay, technically I do because I still believe they are low hyperversal. I'm still showing support that Dragon Ball clearly has, plus you have the bosonic string theory, which is kind of implied into Dragon Ball, but we're not going to go there. All I know is that Goku can deal with the dark matter, and so can Jiren. So dark matter and all that stuff don't matter. Dark matter, antimatter, regular matter, like magic, none of that can hurt Jiren if you're not even at his level. So that right there, yeah, you're dead. You're dead. Like it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. The anti-spiral literally gets glared away because the anti-spiral should max out at 11 dimensional. All right, Jiren glares that stuff away. But the Gurren Lagann verse is 11th dimensional. All right, Jiren glares it away. In fact, Infinite Zamasu takes over it and destroys it. And then he looks for other 11th dimensional continuums to take over as well. Because that's literally what he's going to do. So then what? You know, people get mad. They think, oh, well, you're overshooting it. You're overdoing it. This is too much. I can't stand you. I hate you. Sorry, but hey guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's on. I'm gonna tell you what's on my mind. I'm gonna tell you what has been researched, and I'm gonna tell you what has been confirmed. Because remember, most of the information I'm sharing with you guys is information generally that's been confirmed. Keep in mind, one thing I need to point out about this video, guys. Watch it again. Look at this. What is the key? What is the key word right here, guys? Look. Andre, somebody in the chat, one of you guys in the chat pointed out. One of you guys got to point out. What is the key word about this video title? What is the key word? What is the number one word? What is the key word here? What is the one key word that needs to be highlighted? Huh? What is the key word that needs to be highlighted? I want to see if anyone in the chat can get it. what is the key word that could be highlighted? Exactly Shinjutsu. Exactly the Dark Knight. Exactly Retro. Exactly King Sando. That's the key. Because if this information from the author gets further development, then guess what? Guess what? Guess what? See, I'm not trying to be speed right now, but guess what? This is the next. If this happens, this is the next thing that's going to happen. If that information turns out wrong, that's the first thing I'm spamming. So, exactly 10. Exactly, because what we have to realize is, in fact, I might even put this in this, and I've talked with Vegeta scales or IDK. This is what does that say, chat? What does that say? I need people in the chat to like vibe with me because there are some new, because I'm doing shorts, we're getting new traffic. So newcomers are coming in. Some people may not understand where I'm coming from. That is the key to this. Exactly. That's a might. He might be hyperversal high end. I just need to clarify that though, because I'm not trying to sit here and start, going like, hey guys, look, Anos is like 103 dimensional. Like, no. I'm presenting the argument why he might be hyperversal. But let's say he was hyperversal, right? I know this is the most toxic thing I can put. I know this is toxic, but it's true. I'm sorry. It's true. It's true. Andre's laughing. I mean, it's true. So, like, even if people say, "Oh, Anno Souls, Dragon Ball," like, all right, but it's like, I love Annos too. I personally like them, but in case the Misfits fans start, you give them an inch, they take a mile. You give Saitama fans an inch, they take a light year. But that's a different story. But the point is, like, if these guys, if people start going a little crazy, like, hey man, looky, he's 100 dimensional, haha, he destroyed Dragon Ball. All right. And then Xenogoku's like, all right, catch me outside though. You know what I mean? So. Like my whole thing back in the day was like somebody be like, oh, Superman claps all of Dragon Ball. Mixie claps Dragon Ball. All right, let him see Xenogoku though. That's the only thing I always say. Like, all right, let him see Xenogoku. Let Xenogoku get in the mix then. You want to talk all that smack? Cool. Meet Xenogoku. Let's go ahead and find my scans of Xenogoku, by the way, because I got a lot of other things, man. Oh yeah, let me show you guys this. Beerus, something has happened in the future. It's a Masu. So they can literally tell the key energy. It's having an effect on the present. Beerus could literally sense the effects and the causality that Zamasu has on temporality itself. And y'all trying to sit here and say Dragon Ball can't fight. And guys, you want to know the significance of Beerus being able to sense this? You know what it tells us? You know what it tells us? So chat, I want y'all to throw me some fires in the chat because this is hype information because most people underestimate Dragon Ball. You know what this tells us, chat? Beerus can sense someone who is outside of... You guys finish it. I'm not even going to finish this. Finish it, guys. This right here is also evidence I wanted to bring to people's attention when it comes to Dragon Ball. No, Retro. I think Superman would absolutely get mud stomped by Goku, honestly. Thank you, 10. Thank you, Ranzis. Thank you, Ballistic Boo. Thank you, Razi. That's the key. Not exactly, Andre. He could literally feel like guess what? You know how people say, and this debunks me. This debunks Atari. Because Atari, I used to say, well, if Featherin fought Goku, if Featherin fought Goku, Featherin always is outside of time. Goku has to power up to do that, which is true. But if Goku already has his guard up, Goku's going to know where Featherin is. He's going to immediately sense her ki. Like, all right, I can feel your ki, even from here. So, yeah. Exactly 10. And then keep in mind, Whis can literally travel in between and outside of time. So people saying, oh, well, they're bounded by time. I'm like, Whis literally said, I'll just go there. And this is Piccolo training every day. Yep. Oh, yeah, that's a frame-by-frame animation. Trying to talk a little bit about that. We got some Bleach scans. This was the shockwaves affecting the afterlife from Goku and Beerus, in case somebody tried to say, but it didn't affect the afterlife. I'm like, but it did. So, yeah, nice try. Anyway. And this is like the Baki anime. This is another scan. Because in the anime, in the English dub, he says he's 2 to 3 times stronger, but here he says Nibai, Yombai, and then that's what he says. So he literally says he's 4 times stronger, which is a big difference. A lot of people don't realize that's a big difference. That's a big difference. Being 4 times stronger than someone. Baki is literally a Super Saiyan 3. If Hanayama was Super Saiyan 2, Baki would be a Super Saiyan 3. That's how scary that is. Which, of course, Super Saiyan 3 doesn't technically have a multiplier. I think this scan was another scan. He pounded for hours, chipping away the barriers between their dimensions and ours. Which, by the way, me and Andre brought this up because he's like, people's like, oh, but Superboy, Superman, they can punch through reality. I'm like, yeah, he can punch through reality. How long? How long? What? How long? And then they got to cope again. With chicken wings. Super Saiyan 3 Cell. Just kidding. Champa hasn't trained for decades, yet he could still be the top 4 in the Gods of Destruction battle. Century, you rule the rules over space and time alter for you. Yep, and the paradox. Indeed is another path of reality, a path I didn't take down. Yep. Oh yeah, and this I'm working on Ariko. So far as I know, he was regular Molecule Man in the story. Yep. People was like, yeah, that's Molecule Man, by the way. So yeah, that was for Century, because Century is insane. Molecule Man was finally in prison. Yeah, that was Marvel scaling. Anyway, guys, back to chat. You should versus shorts to reach a wider audience. Good job, The Dark Knight. I think I could. But I'd like to commentate mine, so possibly. Do you believe that if someone has a higher, more complex fictional cosmology they reside, physical strength, speed, that person will be enough, with enough hacks, will be irrelevant to them? Yes, Shinjutsu, because we don't want a no limits fallacy. We want to assume, because for example, Ijimu could utilize her powers to beyond super string theory. So even if we assume that she's beyond that, we can't just say that, all right, but she could do it on beyond an Aleph null and beyond an Omega null and beyond Aleph Omega to Omega Infinity Omega Ols and freaking Epsilon null and to Cantor's Infinity, in all ordinal possibilities. We can't say that. What the hell is this? No, thank you so much. I'm joking. No, this is really great. Thank you. I appreciate you. Wow. And it's warm.
Yeah, just did it now.
Oh, chicken cheese. My wife made me hot dogs.
Do you want ketchup?
Please, thank you. You jealous? You jealous, stinky dog?
You already ate.
Yeah, exactly. Jealous. You're jealous. Punk. Stay jealous. Baboon. I promise that's the ketchup. I promise that's the ketchup, bro. Chili dogs. All right, let's see here. All right, back to questions. So yeah, no. I think it will depend on the dimension. How would you scale Wang Lang from the daily life of the Immortal King? Could Wang Ling defeat Goku or Wang Ling? Could Wang Ling defeat Goku or Wang Ling? Oh, could Wang Ling defeat Goku or Wang Ling? I'm sorry, Thor, the way you wrote the comment. I kept putting myself. It's like infinite. Like the way Thor wrote this comment is like an infinite Tsukuyomi. Could Wang Ling defeat Goku or Wang Ling? Could Wang Ling defeat Goku or Wang Ling? Could Wang Ling defeat Goku or Wang Ling?
Just wanna see how
Could
it
Wang
came
Ling
out.
defeat Goku or Wang Ling? Could Wang Ling defeat Goku or Wang Ling? Anyway. And my wife spills
Come on,
stuff
gross.
on me. And then she eats the hot dog she was supposed to give me.
No, I was just trying it out. How it came out great.
No.
I like it.
When do you see Chi-Chi ever eat Goku's food after making it?
That's great, my love. I need to make you more of those. Come on, put-
It is good though, thank you.
come on.
It's alright, Marvel has infinite dimensions in the universe. So where would a scale if someone destroys the... Okay. So God L Slim Shady, OG. To answer your question, Marvel has infinite dimensions, but it's not confined to a universe. Because we learned that. If I go earlier on. No, right here. No. That's DC. Giggity, 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 goo. Okay. And then right here, giggity, giggity, giggity. Right here, giggity, giggity, giggity again. And then more giggities. Yep. Oh, and that's Solaris. Solaris being a super dimensional being. Yeah. Nope, that's DC. So, if I could pull it up, Marvel does have these scans, and you're not wrong. But they make it clear that each dimension has their own dimensionality. Like the dark dimension is the 6-dimensional plane. All right. So let's look at the next scan. Oh! Oh, dang! I can't even say nothing. Yo! RJ! Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. No, let me read it. Go debate Chuck. The Chuck ignorance Xenogoku. Chuck reduced Xenogoku. The complex multiverse. Chuck don't understand how timelines in DBZ. I get what he's saying. I'm gonna keep it right here. Oh, what's up, Drip? Drip the legend. Drip is a legendary animator. So even though we don't see eye to eye on power scaling, we definitely see all eyes. Drip is like Tupac, all eyes on me when it comes to animation. I'll tell you that. You put all eyes on him when it comes to animation. That dude is really talented. Absolutely amazing. God-gifted gentleman right there. No cap. Oh, chicken cheese! You just want this hot dog. Now get the hell away from me, you damn dog. I'm trying to get my damn hot dog. Alright. Outside of that, dude, stop talking about eating. It's annoying. He's right. It is annoying. But it's okay, CZX. I gotta answer these questions. But if you're annoyed by that, I can talk like Chris Pratt if you want, or how Chris Pratt should have sound. Hello, it's me, Mario. Let's go ahead and go the power scaling. Okay, so let's talk about the Xenogoku. Before we talk about Xenogoku, I want to tell you something. What if I told you that there are extra dimensional characters? And in fact, Zamasu was able to survive against Zeno. That is seriously crazy. When Zamasu survived, let me tell you what Goku did. Goku was able to power up to Super Saiyan 4. He was so powerful, his energy was going to destroy or threaten all of the timelines, which are infinite. These timelines are congruently infinitely above the crack of time, which is really crazy. When I seen Goku do it, I was like, Mamma mia. Anyway. Chuck literally conceded to a hyperversal Saitama scale. No. By the way, guys, Fighter Z is canon to Heroes. And we know Fighter Z has that one scan. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Heroes and Fighter Z kind of broken. Sender's erasure can erase omnipresent since infinite Zamasu was omnipresent. You're right. Sure thing, Drip. Yeah, Raj. Oh, reply to his DMs. Okay. Anyway. Job done. Now, what he says afterwards, I can't control. Because if Raj Chidoris me for asking him that, I think he's joking. He has to be trolling. I've watched Chuck's video for a long time. Chuck would never do that. No, you guys, all right, chill, bro. I'm not that good. DSM 24, in my honest opinion, I think Goku, I think God Fusion Goku is the strongest Goku. But the strongest cosmology, the highest cosmology is Dragon Ball Heroes. Because Dragon Ball Heroes, remember, let me show you this. Broly. Alright, God, Broly. God Broly is in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. So, the fact that Beat scales above him and Capsule Goku scales above him tells us a lot. Now, God Fusion Goku still also one-shot this Broly, but I'm just giving you the facts. And then you have the fact that Fighters is also canon. I think Dragon Ball Heroes is probably one of the biggest cosmologies out there. It's insane. Exactly, Andre. It's a composite verb. Where can I find that scan for the universal tree? That's what I'm trying to find. Hey, 10, I really appreciate it, man. I don't want to shoot down Chuck. Chuck is my boy. Even though I don't talk to him, but hey, I ain't have nothing against it, brother. And Chuck, if you do ever get this clip, just know I still respect you, man. And if you're ever down for a collab, hit me up. But with that said, sorry, I have proof that universe tree scan is not fake. Hey, I believe you, Drip. I believe you, Drip. Because one thing Drip and I could agree with, and probably everyone in this chat, is that, see, let me make this clear. I believe Goku is like beyond like Omega Null. You know what I mean? Like Aleph Null, Omega Null. I believe Goku's beyond those parameters. I don't think he's the definition of outerversal I subscribe to. However, if we look at the Versus Battle Wiki outerversal definition, tiering. So let's look at the Versus Battle Wiki. Their definition of outerversal is completely different than what it was back in the day. They completely changed everything. Why? I don't know. But to assume cardinality of real, like bypassing cardinality? No, because there's ordinals. There's ordinal numbers, and there's greater cardinalities, such as Aleph null. And just because you're Aleph null 2, or Aleph 2, or Aleph 3, or Omega null, just because you reach those, you're not out of versal, because the whole premise of out of versal is you're out of verse. You're no longer bounded by dimensions. Obviously, they're not going with that definition no more. So under the new definition of out of versal, Xenogoku's high out of versal. If we go by what versus Battle Wiki is going for, Xenogoku is high out of versal. I'm sorry, in base form. It is what it is. But that's because of the new out of versal argument. Like back then, Xenogoku wouldn't have hit this at all. But they changed the definition of out of versal to kind of allow other characters to be claimed as out of versal, which I think is stupid. And, it kind of just goes from there, which is just stupid. But whatever. I come back and hear out of versal immediately. That wasn't me drinking apple juice. That was just Cell sucking the fluids out of me. Okay, pause. Hold up. All right, hold up, Nick. Pause. Anyway. Yeah, I know. They changed the definition like 50 times. Every time. They keep changing it. Hey, Retro, I said pause. Pause! Damn. No, I said, never mind. I hate you guys. No! No, I said, no, not like that. You know what Cell does. Don't act stupid, chat. Oh, can't stand you guys. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're just like, you'll say, what? What Cell? Cell sucks. What? Well, I haven't seen Cell suck in a long time. Hey, Maxie, you seen Cell? Like, no, that's exactly how chat's acting. Freaking goofy. Hey, look, I'm gonna start reading the chat in Goofy's voice. It's like, see, all right, see, Retro, if I see you, I'm a go to your location, and I'm literally going to freaking RKO you IRL. Roz, chat says everyone is outer. Atari chose the hard way. Like, come on, Donaz, I will literally Hakai you right now, bro. Don't play. Would infinite speed and inaccessible characters move finite distance in 0 seconds? In some cases, SR Nova. Because the thing about infinity, it's wonky. You can have a character move. Let's bring it back. I'm gonna body this chat though. So let's give an example. All right, so we're gonna pick people from the chat to be our volunteers. Let's say we got our boy Drip right here, right? We got Drip dressed in all blue. Then we got our boy. We're going to put Thor's hammer there. Yeah, we're going to put Thor. So Thor got his hammer out. Ready? Boom, bam, bing. All right, so Drip and then Thor's hammer moves. All right? What's the context of their movement? So Thor's hammer moves infinite distance, but it takes 1 hour. The only way this can happen is if that his speed kept accelerating until it eventually reached infinity, aka Superman. Superman did this, and guess who else does this? Whis. Because Whis is not allowed to use his angel powers, so Whis flying around the universe is literally him hyper suppressed. So don't mistake that. Now let's go to our boy Drip. All right, so we got Drip in blue right here. Ready? He moves across. This is 3 feet. He's moving a short distance, but it took him 0 seconds. That's another variant of infinite speed. And because infinity breaks math, typically, You can't really divide or subtract consistently unless you divide by 0. It becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. How many Planck seconds till we get to 0? It gets infinitesimally small until we get to absolute 0. So for him to travel this distance and no time has passed, that's pretty much him popping into and out of existence. But if he's doing it via movement, that's a level of infinite speed. No, some people say it's inaccessible. You can call it that. But I just like to call it infinite speed type 2. Or infinite speed type A. And the other one I call infinite speed type B. You can call it whatever you want. Now, if these guys... Now let's take our boy Vegeta Scales. And Vegeta Scales, this is an infinite timeline. And Vegeta Scales is not only outside of time, but he's literally running along the axis. How long does it take him? There's no time to measure it. No time to measure it. So, no time. So he gets there in no time, literally. But he's able to go from the infinite beginning until the infinite end. So he reaches the edge of infinity. So not only is he fast, infinitely fast, because he could pop up at any point in time in the 3D world and 0 time. He could pop up in any place in the 3D world and 0 time. And he could travel this infinite distance, which since we have no way to measure it, and 0 time. So guess what? That's what I call immeasurable speed plus whatever. Now, let's say, for example, he couldn't truly travel the full timeline. He could just pop in and out of time, or it can just move around outside of time. That would just be regular immeasurable speed. Immeasurable speed plus is when you can move infinite distances outside of the general space-time. Because outside of space-time, you have timelines. Now, imagine you could move along timelines at any point of the timeline. Like, you could literally run circles around an infinite-sized timeline. Because now you're traveling in infinite 4D distance. And that's why I said, technically, you can have higher dimensions of speed. Versus Battle Wiki doesn't do that. They just say, oh, immeasurable, okay, don't scale anymore. We don't need any more. That's it. Should we have irrelevant speed? No. We don't need that tier. Why not? Because when you're out of universal, speed still counts. And no, it doesn't. You're beyond time and space. There's literally no time and space anymore. You're beyond the very concept of time. Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway. Back to the lab again. Oh, no. All right, so now that most people are kind of just... I bet everyone in the chat is kind of looking like, Atari... What? You're like, Atari, what the hell is that? This is infinite speed. But that's exactly how I decided to explain this infinite speed to you guys. Now, Thor's hammer, I can't answer that question until I look further into Wang Ling. With that said, I think this was a good and productive stream. We went ahead and was able to stream for a solid 2 hours. Or almost 2 hours. So what is the finite speed and 0 time called? That's the point, certified hater. It's a type. Because remember, there are different types of infinite strength and different types of immeasurable speed. It's different types. And that's what I was talking about. Remember how I said you can have higher realities? You can have higher realities. You can have higher dimensions. You can have subsets of like individual dimensional depths within themselves, different theories. You can have so many ways to interpret higher dimensions and tiers. Then you could do the same thing for speed. You can have so many different ways to interpret speed. Teleportation is the ability to literally pop out of existence. So teleportation, it's literally what's happening is, I need to teleport here. So what's happening with you? Well, I'm going to just boop, pop right here. To give you a visual of it, let's get a better visual example. Here's how teleportation would technically look. So this is 3D space. This red line is 3D space. Let's say it's all within a timeline. The circle, this is the timeline. All right, timeline, whatever. All right, so this is 4D, whatever. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. And the theory, because they even talk about this in Cyborg 009, teleportation is basically saying, or just like Hit's time skip, yeah, I'm just going to leave outside of here and jump right here. So in other words, it's like, how much time just passed? 0. No time passed. And obviously it depends on the teleportation. Sometimes it takes them time to phase out. Like Nightcrawler, it takes them a little bit of time to phase out. But it's gonna depend. So sometimes it'll be, well, I'm just gonna pop out of existence and I'm gonna come back. And this is evident because even instant transmission was literally considered like time travel. And then you have to factor in the space between universes, which I'll give you an image example right here. The space between universes in the timeline. Another solid example. You see, the space between timelines. This was like an old scan I made back in Google Plus days, but the point still remains the same. That's the space between universes, or timelines, I should say. So in this brownish looking gold brown space, that's technically the space Zamasu traveled to get to the 11th dimensional, to the 11th dimensional world of time. So Zamasu moved through the 12th dimensional superspace in order to propagate himself into an 11th dimensional Nexus multiverse. Not that Zamasu's 12th dimensional in this context, but mostly that he still used the 12th dimension as like a vehicle or like a main road or like a highway to get there. But anyway, that's the main picture. I hope this explained a lot to you guys. Could Alien X kill SCP? Heck no! Probably not. I don't think so. But Alien X also has 23 dimensions, so I don't know. There's a lot of topics about that. And the thing is, in Ben 10, when they talk about dimensions, they're kind of blatant about it. So I don't know. It depends on how you want to interpret it. Electron, I'm hiding that comment. I'm not letting you put that. In a Roshi, you're gonna come out. Anyway, bottom line is that is going to be it for today, guys. So today's stream we are going to end right there. Yeah. A super dimensional 16 to 12 to 3 infinite dimensions. Yeah, I mean, it could depend. But yeah, guys, Alien X versus Scarlet King, that's a good battle. We'll have to think. All right, guys. So once again, I just want to say,
ありがとうございます。さよなら。
which basically is a. I bet people thinking in the chat, hey, didn't think you could do that voice, Atari. Hey, watch this, baby. All right, let me stop. All right, chat. But once again, thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. See you on the next live stream. We'll also be uploading some more shorts later on this week. So, with that said,
Bye-bye. See you next time. Bye, Luigi.
Let me stop.
Well, alright, chat. I'll talk to you next time. And when I see you next time, I'm going to get my perfect form. Isn't that right, Piccolo?
Yes, exactly, Piccolo. Yes, just let me reach my perfect form so I can destroy everyone in the chat and unban some of the members in the chat. Come out, 18!
yes, exactly. And before I go, I want everyone to know that I, Cell, am not Plankton, and I'm not trying to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. All right, guys, I've had too much fun with you guys. All right, I had too much fun with you guys. Anyway, You guys have yourself a great night. Everyone take care. Thanks, Drip. Thanks, appreciate it.
And next time when I'm gonna do the stream, I want you to tell Shrek that he needs to stop looking on all the parfaits. See, last time I had a parfait with Whis. And let me tell you something about Whis. Now let me stop. All Sonic OC versus SC, OCs? Oh, Sonic OCs slaps. Heck no, Sonic OC slap. I literally got an OC who will slap, bro. No, I'm just playing. All right, guys, it's me, Krillin.
No, I'm just playing. I don't even have Krillin's voice yet. But all right, guys. You have a great day. All right, Ken is asking for Sonic's voice. All right, got you.
All right, guys, have a great...
Thank you so much, Retro. I greatly appreciate the $2 donation. Retro coming in with the clutch donation, the GOAT, and everyone else who's contributed and donated. Thank you guys all so much. You guys all have a wonderful day. And again,
Sonic's a name, Speed's my...
no, I haven't worked on my Sonic voice in a while. I'm not doing that. Anyway. Peace. Good night, folks.